Hello, good afternoon. Just going to go through all of our checks. We've got a different lens on today using manual focus, so yeah, hopefully that's working okay. I just come across and check everything's okay. A good afternoon, everyone. Lens on today. That sounds great. Yeah, right. It's pronounced da here, bore da, possibly in other areas. Thank you for joining us. Hope everyone's well. Hope we've all had a good week. Now, as you can see, we've changed that lens over. I'm focusing manually, so let me know how that all goes. The first thing you can see on this one here, we're back on the big spoon again. So we're working on our spoon for the year. And the first thing that we're going to have a little look at, we've got 1985 and Africa on there. I'll be honest, I thought we were starting on 1986, but where we had the picture, it was actually pointing at 1985. So, bit of a change of plan, but I get straight into it. And as I start carving this, perhaps Thomas Woodcarver, who's standing next to me, perhaps you can explain why we've got on there Africa 1985.
I've already forgotten, Dave, so we're going to have to find out.
Okie dokes, that's a good start. So it is on there. It's going on this big spoon for us. So as we showed you last week, this spoon, rather a large one. And yeah, we're going to start carving the different aspects of the design. So I'm starting off with the date, the 1985 on here. So we use the different gouges to create the different symbols and to create the different angles that we need. So the one, we always use curved gouges when we're doing our numbers. So the one is just a single line with the gouge. The 9 then, we do like a 3/4, well, almost a full circle to do the top of the 9. And then afterwards, we use the same gouge that we did the 1.
It was Live Aid and Band-Aid. There
we are.
So it was, Live Aid was the first, Band-Aid was the second, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Interesting though, where you're recording that on there, but we did actually record that on the spoon for actually 1984, didn't we?
That's it, you see. Cause
so you've changed what we're doing a bit because
no,
we were originally sort of recording something different. So
yeah,
why?
But it is different, you see.
Okay.
Because Live Aid, right, was 1984.
Right. So you're recording.
Right, let me get it right now.
Here we are. You'll have to work this one out. What it is, we've recorded on our spoon for 1984. We did record Live Aid, Band-Aid, Bob Geldof, that sort of thing. So Thomas the Woodcarver is just having a search here to find out why he's put it on there. So you can see we carry on. We've done the 1, the 9, and now we're on to the 8. Hopefully, with this one here as well, hopefully with the camera, it's a little bit closer, a little bit more zoomed in. So hopefully, it just gives you a little bit of a tighter view of how the sort of carving is done. Slightly different perspective.
Live Aid is 1985.
Right.
Band-Aid, 1984.
Right, so this is, you're recording then the Live Aid concerts.
Yeah.
Which, if memory serves, the star of the show was Freddie Mercury, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I was watching it the other day.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see the crowd there with it, and his interaction with the crowd again is fantastic. So we just got the bottom of the 8 done, and then we go on to doing the top of the 8. And so you can just see the simple process that we use for doing then our numbers. So we're going to have an impression as well then, just a simple impression of the outline of the continent of Africa. Because of course those concerts, Live Aid, Band-Aid, things like that, those things really shed a lot of light, put Africa very much in the spotlight. So that is what we're recording on here. So we just got that 5 now, so we've got the curve of the 5, and we're just working on that one there, just working around that curve Same again, using that same one, that same gouge that we've used for doing the 9. And then to do the top, we change gouges again. You do that stop cut, cutting down into the woods, and then using that stop cut as a barrier. There we are, just working into that edge. And just like so. And then curving that, as we said, we're curving round the bottom there for that part of the 5, and we'll do the top of it. So again, it's a stop cut at the top, and then we'll use that stop cut as a barrier. So that's the process that we use for doing letters and numbers. So any of you who are learning wood carving, oh, we got a comment we missed. Who's just joined us? Hello, Stephen. How you guys? Glad to catch you live again. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we're just going through the process here that we're using. How's the Lovespoon coming along as well? The design was a good one, so hopefully it's coming along for you. Right, we're going to cut that outline of the continent of Africa. So we're just going to start doing a few of the different lines there, just so we got that outline of the continent of Africa. Yeah, so just building that shape up. So again, the plan is to do all of our stop cuts and then to use them as a barrier afterwards. The carver, hello from Virginia. Now I've been watching, because I know that's where you're from. Interesting, we had a Lovespoon is heading out to Virginia. Where's the sheet with the one that we just sent out to? Be interested to know if the carver knows where it's gone to.
Don't follow my pencil lines necessarily, Dave. You can, if you think it looks better, just change it slightly, alright?
Okie dokie, no problem at all. Yeah, we had a Lovespoon went out to Virginia, and because I know that's where you're from, and you mentioned West Virginia in particular. I've been doing. I was watching a video today, put in a video on West Virginia. Not today, sorry, yesterday.
This is Glen Allen.
There we are, Warren Road, Glen Allen. Because I don't know how big Virginia is, but is that a familiar name? There was another one.
Oh, it's
where you mentioned
Chesterfield as well.
Chesterfield, yeah, which of course is a town here, town in the north of England. Is that right, Chesterfield?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another one. As I said, I watched a video, and I'm thinking it was a village. They were talking all about Thurlock or something in West Virginia. Really interesting. The history of it. Apparently, it still holds the world record, I think, for the longest ever poker game. 14 years, I think it is. So yeah, interested to know if you're familiar with those ones. Prananda. Hello, Ben. Thank you for joining us. Waiting for a few chisels to arrive as well. Stephen there with the workshop. It's good to have you all with us, as always. As you can see, we're just starting to work on this part of the spoon. This particular Lovespoon then is going to be a bit of an ongoing story. So we're working our way up the east coast of Africa here, by the look of it. Is that right? Northeast? Yeah, it is east coast of Africa. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of watching the videos, learning a little bit about Virginia and West Virginia. Interesting stuff to see. It was a town up in the mountains, and it had built up on there was a railway. I think it was mining. So similar to ourselves here in Wales, of course, where a lot of Wales was developed on the back of coal mining, especially in South Wales. So what I'm going to do, we'll get that outline shape of the continent of Africa, and then afterwards we'll just use, basically, I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to use that as a barrier. Difficult little bit of carving there because we're going cross grain.
It's all going to be cross grain.
That's right. So it's all a bit of a challenge. But there's ways and means. We sort of try and work around at a bit of an angle, sort of cut around, sweep around a little bit. Just tries to steal a bit to make it a little bit less cross grain, if that makes sense. So, you're working, Dad is working, he's doing out all the drawings there that we're going to do for this design, and I'm just following what he's done then in terms of the drawings.
But they're only there as a rough guide.
Yeah, but at the moment I am following them quite closely. So I think we're going to do the surround of Africa, do that outline, and then once we've just done a little bit of detail, a little bit of work into our stop cuts, then we're going to go back and have a little look at another part. I live in the West Virginia border, and I'm originally Western. It's certainly cold country. Yeah, that's where we are. I mean, this area where we are, West Wales, not as much, although it did build up a bit in terms of in and around Saundersfoot Harbour, that sort of thing. The
special coal down here.
Special coal, is it?
Yeah, anthracite.
Yeah, but that was South Wales. Had a good reputation, didn't it, for the coal? Pembrokeshire in particular, was it?
Pembrokeshire known for anthracite.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
But I know that the Welsh coal was sought after by the navies, wasn't it? Because it wasn't as dirty, so it didn't have as much. It was more difficult to spot the ships because it burnt more cleanly. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Less smoke. So you can see we're just going using those lines that we cut in, using those stop cuts, cutting all around the outside, creating that shape. Just like so. I might have to come around the other side. My original intention, was to actually start on 1986, which is where I'm going to go to next. And we got another rose. It'll be the third rose that we put on here. Anybody know? We put that out to everybody now. Why in 1986 would we be putting a rose? What would we be recording? Excuse my hands going in there 2 seconds. I'm going to come around the other side. My father was an engineer on the railroad, driving trains for 40 years. That's similar to my granddad, where he was on putting the track stand up. Right, we're just going to try and get in from a slightly different angle. Apologies for affecting the light. 2 seconds. I'm putting my hand in front of the screen. But that's the idea, is we're just going to cut into the edge, just like so. Well, this town, I'm thinking, the town that I was watching the video about, then your father would have probably, he would have driven through there probably many a time. It was up in the mountains. There we are. Right. Bear with me 2 seconds as we move the camera across. I'm manually focusing today, so we may... It's the little macro, it's my macro lens. So we're just getting it about there. So we're getting that in focus. Yeah, so our rose. Any thoughts? Why a rose for 1986? No answers on that one yet. It's a specific one. I would be hoping that somebody in America, in the US, might get this one. So that's why it's been put on there. So you can see we're going, because we're cross grain, we're just carving that centre piece out first of all. No problem. There we are, we're just carving into that centre. We've got a bit more work on the Africa part as well. Has anyone got that yet? No, no answers on that one. And then we use this. This is one of my favourite gouges for working in. When I carve with this one, you actually see it. It's so delicately made. You'll see the blade. It actually flexes as you're cutting. Beautifully made, and it gives you that feeling as if it might break, but it's been so well made that it flexes, but it never breaks. Well, never has. So we just work to do our roses. If anyone's interested in having a go at carving a rose, all we do, we start off in the centre, we do a little indent, and then we start to work our way out. Anyone got the reason for the rose?
Anything to do with the rose bowl? We're very near there now.
There we are. Are we gonna tell everyone, or are we gonna leave this run a bit longer?
Well, we're speculating actually, because somebody else may tell us that we've got it wrong.
Well, I'm following what you. I thought you'd check this out.
Well, I checked it out, but
oh dear,
you never know, because it's not our country, is it? So
oh, we may be in trouble here.
So
then.
I may have done something wrong.
We may be in trouble here. We may have to adapt as we go along. I'm just looking myself what it is. This is all a bit of a surprise for me, because Dad's been doing the sort of research and the designing for this, and then I've come in then and I'm having a little look with the actual carving. It's nice fun though. It's good fun doing something different and carving, doing little carvings, building it up.
Because of the internet, we're learning things about. Well, he's got here, the carver has said National Rose Garden.
There we are.
So I'm guessing.
Well, basically, when you did your research, what did you find?
Well, it was.
Reagan made it the national flower. You got it. There we go.
Reagan, that's right, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the one. I hope we're right.
We hope we're right on that one, but that's what Dad, when he researched 1986. Because of course, sadly, one of the things you recorded on the original spoon was the year the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded, wasn't it? So that was one of the things we recorded on the original spoon. We've recorded that on another spoon. Yeah.
And in fact, the previous longest love spoon.
It was also recorded on there. Yeah. But when Dad was researching, looking for something to record, and that came up that the rose, whilst of course being a national emblem of used in England.
So it was quite a surprise.
It was well, when Dad told me that the national emblem, in terms of the national flower, in America is the rose, I was a bit surprised because of we associate it very much with England. But yeah, Reagan made it the national flower of the USA. So that's why we've got it recorded on there. And we thought it'd be a good one to record. I thought as well, you chose that, isn't it? Because we're very grateful in terms of, like, with our YouTube channel, isn't it? Most of the support in terms of views and numbers, that sort of thing, most of it actually comes from the USA. So we're always very grateful for how much support we receive with what we do from the US. And interestingly, this month online so far, we've sold 4 spoons online so far this month. One's gone to Virginia, and the other 3 have all gone out to Canada.
Yeah.
So again, we're very grateful for the support that we receive from North America, and we are very appreciative of the fact that there's a lot of support for the Lovespoon tradition in the US and Canada as well. To be honest with you, we did even suspect that, I don't know, sometimes there's TV programs that have filmed with us, and sometimes they do get repeated, and we were wondering if one had been shown out in Canada, because whilst we do have regular orders from Canada, it's unusual for us to have 3 come in the matter of a week, isn't it?
Yeah, and we had a couple of inquiries, didn't we, from Canada?
That's right, yeah. So you can see what I'm doing for our rows. We're marking out all the stop cuts. I'll just see if I've missed anything on the comments. Yay, Canada! Hello, Aubrey! Good to have you. Apparently the same year, the name of the rose was released. October the 7th, 1986. There we are, yeah! Good stuff, good stuff. So yeah, this is all sort of how a love spoon then, and a big spoon like this, how it all sort of takes shape. And for ourselves, as Dan said last week, you said it's a talking piece is the word that you used.
But it's educational for us. I mean, I mean, I've gone 70 now, so it's good. It's good that I'm sort of using the internet in that way to use my brain then.
Yeah, and well, with stuff like this though as well, for us, well, why do we do this? Well, because we have groups here in the workshop, we can then afterwards we share the stories, and so people can remember, and we can sort of remember with them. And to be honest with you, some of the spoons we even do a little bit of almost like a quiz, where we ask people.
Well, I mean, that was
how you record.
An incredible visit. People may be interested in this one. When I did the Lovespoon over there with the fish.
Yeah.
And if I can explain to everyone, we had a coach on this particular day, and I did the talk.
Sorry to just interrupt 2 seconds, but you said to not follow your lines. I'm not following your lines.
No, that's fine.
Is that okay?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
there we are. You carry on, sorry.
Yeah. This particular day, I did the talk, and I'd finished the talk, and there was a gentleman sitting down.
Sitting in the front row?
Yeah, and for some reason he happened to point to the particular spoon in the shape of a fish. He said, "What's that all about?" Because we've got over 50 spoons, I don't include everyone. We only do a few.
Well, a little by story with that. It's a Lovespoon that very rarely does anybody draw any attention to.
Yeah.
And this one particular group, this one particular gentleman, he stopped and said, "Well, what's that one there?"
And of course, I started explaining it. It was about. I've got to go and look at it to get the right date.
Well, we mentioned one of the stories on there, Freddie Mercury, Queen. He's on there because sadly it was the year he passed away.
It was 1991.
There's a tall ship, because the tall ships race went from Milford Haven locally.
And then there was a prison bars with a scarf and an eyepiece.
Yeah.
And that was to represent Terry Waite.
Who was... Terry Waite he was...
an envoy, wasn't he?
He was an envoy.
Captured in...
It was in Iran, was it? Was it Iran? Where was he?
I can't remember if it was Iraq or Iran, though.
I think it might have been Iran that he was.
And he was in prison for about 5 years, I think.
Yeah, long time.
But of course, I explained, I said, and of course, Terry Waite. I said that represents the prison bars and the scarf and the eyepiece. And then with that, this gentleman, he said, "This is Terry Waite's sister."
Yeah.
She was sitting next to him.
You should have a check on the internet. Check that he's definitely got a sister.
I know. You may be winding me up. But it was, it's things like that.
Incredible how these sort of things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little coincidences and little things that happen, little stories that sort of develop within it. And that's very much what we do. So we use then this Lovespoon. This will go on display somewhere. The one dilemma we've got, I don't know if Dad's got a solution for this, but I think we need a bigger workshop because we've got nowhere to hang this one.
No, I know exactly where this one is going. Yeah.
Oh, so he's decided where this one's going already.
Yeah, we've got a place.
You've got somewhere lined up for it.
It's just above the.
Above the door.
Yeah, it's where the two.
There we are. So it's going to go. It's going to go above the door.
It's where the two plaques are, and it'll stretch out there. The plaques.
So if we want to explain this, everyone's going to have to turn round.
Yeah.
That's going to be a challenge.
Well, it'll be good, you see, because most of the people we get in are like myself, a little bit older, so it'll be a little bit of a workout for them to sort of.
All of them turning around to see
turn
it.
their heads around,
So that is how we're. It's just a nice process, and it's one thing as well. I got to ask as well because I got an idea for another spoon for this year. The question is that are we going to make the other spoon?
Well, it all depends how this one pans out, really, because.
So the other one, because what it is, the other one, I was going to do like a Celtic twist surround. That was my idea on the other one. And it was one of the things, this mum and dad, it's their 50th wedding anniversary this year, as you mentioned. And so I was going to do, I had this idea for a heart-shaped design and twist. And then my brother Matt, he said to me, why don't you do, I'll just check if we missed anything. He was a religious envoy or something, he was a prisoner. Yeah, he was, that was it. In Ontario, we have a provincial channel for 2 years that often is right. That would make sense. That would make sense. What Aubrey's saying there. Can you say where in Canada? No, not sure where they repeated it, but that makes sense what you're saying. Do you know where in Canada it would have been? I don't even know whether it was. But we can. Do you want to have a check on some of the sheets there? Did see where in Canada the spoons were going? That's the only indication we'd have with it, Aubrey. Is
well, this one was. Where did we say this one was?
well, I went to Virginia. That's gone to the US.
Right,
that one. But there were three others. They went out to Canada. There were some of them were things like Christmas tree decorations. So you can see what I'm doing as I'm talking. We're just building up the depth and building up the layers. And I love doing roses. This is a carving that I enjoy doing. Reason I like doing it is because you can create that idea that by using the angle of the gouge, you can create almost an impression that the different petals of the flower, they're all going in behind the petal in front of it. So that's the idea, is it builds up in terms of an image. And one of the difficulties then, there's always challenges when we do these spoons for our collection. The challenge I'm having here is I'm leaning right over now. So I'm right over the top of this spoon. It's so big. And where the camera is now, that is basically where I need to be standing. But it's a bit impossible for me to get to. So you've got to contort yourself into the right sort of position.
We got three places. We got Lakeside.
Lakeside, that's Ontario, ON.
Right.
Yes, that went to Ontario.
Chilliwack,
BC. And the other one?
and there was another one.
Chilliwack, BC. Where would BC be?
And Ottawa.
Ottawa. So they've gone all over. It's possible it's just coincidence. Or it's something like they're people, somebody that knows one another, or... Yeah, who knows? Just interesting that they all came in within a few days of one another. Find out what Aubrey says now. BC is the West Coast. There we are. So it's, I think they've gone all over there by the sounds of it. Right, what I'll do is I'll just finish off this bit, just so you can see how that's sort of coming together. So that's a lot of, afterwards I might go back over some of the stock cuts, go a bit deeper, add a bit more detail. Years and years we didn't used to do the rose, we used to do the Tudor rose, because our area here, of course, Pembrokeshire, Pembroke Castle, that was where Henry Tudor was born. And so we always did the Tudor rose because they referred to him as Henry Tudor. So we just come a little bit around there like so. And then the same as I've been doing. As I said, you'll have to excuse my shoulder is just going in front of my lighting. So if it's getting a bit dark and my hands are a bit covering it a bit, I'll have to apologise for that. Right, so we're just cutting in back the other way. But you can see that's the process of building up those different layers, just like so. Right, which way are we heading this time? Which way do you want me to go here, Did? Should we go across to this one?
Well, you haven't finished Africa yet, have you?
No, but we've shown a bit of carving on that one. I'm moving across to this one, which is...
Oh, you've got the sunflower.
The sunflower. So what have we got a sunflower on there for?
Sunflower.
Just adjust that just in case. Let's take it out of focus.
Where did I put the sunflower? Have you got anything else with the sunflower?
I got the date. Ah, yeah. There's
It was the
Have a quick drink as I'm walking past.
Vincent van Gogh. It was a record
Right.
sale
Okay.
for his painting.
That's where it's just sorry to interrupt. Monty Python, where the Lumberjacks song. Yeah, I remember that one. Again, I saw that on YouTube recently. So that's on there for a record sale
Yeah.
for the sunflowers.
Yeah.
And you've got on there $39.9 million.
That's how much it sold for. It was a record.
Wow. That's quite a...
Are you looking at
quite a price.
There?
I'm just sort of getting my bearings for where I think I should go. So if I go on that size, I'm going to be going quite a bit smaller. And the thing we're doing sunflowers, we want quite a large centre to them. So I think I might go up another size. So we go up to that one there. And that's a lot of what we do then when it comes to...
Well, the other reason I chose the sunflower, Dave,
yeah.
you know, flowers are really nice to carve.
Yeah.
They're a good thing to start carving with flowers.
Yeah.
And of course,
well, the nice thing with the flowers, you can make it...
We're often asked to do a sunflower, aren't we?
Yeah, and the nice thing with flowers is you can make them as simple or as complicated as you want to.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to do my sunflower slightly differently to your drawing.
Yeah, no problem. As long as it represents the sunflower.
The way I tend to do a sunflower is we sort of come along, we go along like that, just like that. So we've got, I tend to go up so far and then back the other way, like that. So this takes me back, here we are. This sort of takes me to, you've got a gouge that I think I need, that one there. I probably realise I don't need that one. No, I don't need that
This
one.
one you need.
Yeah, that one I think. Yeah, this takes me back to my father-in-law's town in central Spain, to La Mancha, and it's amazing, isn't it, how a carving as well, it can take you to a place. So I'm now standing, in my head, I'm standing in a field in the middle of La Mancha now. I remember photographing as a town on the route between the airport and where Yolanda's dad's town is, my wife's dad's town. And so I can see myself standing there photographing, and I'm looking at the shape of the individual leaves, the petals, that sort of thing on the sunflowers, and they have this curve to them, and they sort of shape out, as you can see I'm trying to create. They just sort of shape just like so. And then in between, if you have any gaps, you can just fill them with more petals, basically. So I curve the one way, and then I sort of flick it to the end. Because as I was standing in that field, that's what I sort of noticed. I'm taking this photograph, and I just noticed that was the form that the sunflower petals, that's the form that they take. So it's interesting, when you're out and about, it's one thing why I like things like photography, is that it gives you an opportunity to photograph and see the form that things take.
They often have competitions.
They do, growing
to
them,
see
yeah.
who can grow the tallest sunflower.
There's a house near me on the main street. There's a sunflower growing prominently in the front garden, leaning over the pavement. Immediately behind there grows a huge... So there we are, cannabis growing is legal in Canada.
Oh,
so they've got a cannabis plant growing behind the sunflower. They reckon here, in certain places, the police drive around when it's been snowing, and if they see the roofs, have you heard this one before?
Yeah.
If they see the roofs have got no snow on, then the police are knocking on that door to check in their, they want to check in their attic. Because it's usually a good sign there's a cannabis factory there, no?
Yeah. Oh, this one do you?
I do, yeah. So, as you can see, we're just building up those shapes. It's can be a little bit more tricky doing a carving like this, because of course we're improvising a bit, because you're not following those lines. And what I'm trying to do is to get a nice sort of shape going all the way around. but also trying to get the petals roughly the same size, the same length, and a similar sort of shape. But as Dad was saying, flowers great for carving. One of the things as well with the flower, you can make them as simple or as elaborate as you want it.
And because of the Lovespoon, we're always looking. People come in and say, "Oh, I want a Lovespoon for a certain occasion," and then of course the flower you can record. You've got a snowdrop.
Yeah.
It can represent something. The rose, obviously, the daffodil, obviously a Welsh emblem, and so
There's another meaning, isn't it? As in terms of you hope that love will blossom.
That's
and
right.
Stories and messages in them like that.
Flowers we're very grateful for flowers.
We've always done a lot of carving of sort of nature. When we did our previous Longspoon, we had bees and beehives and stuff like that on there. We get requests for a lot of different things from the natural world, and it's nice then to include them. And it's amazing actually how many times we get asked to do a specific flower. So for instance, I was working on a design today and somebody was asking for a specific flower because it was their wife's favourite flower. But again, with the Lovespoon, see, we can include all of that sort of thing into what we do. So this one is just proving a little bit challenging because we're having to improvise that shape as we go in. But it does seem to be, famous last words, but it does seem to be coming along fairly well. I don't know that it would be worth £39.9 million, but...
I want pounds, I did.
Dollars, sorry. I still don't think it would be worth $39.9 million, but... I don't know. How much carving did Van Gogh do? No, I reckon, I'm looking at that and I reckon we can get...
He did cut his ear off, didn't he? So...
Perhaps he wasn't the best carver. He cut his ear off. Perhaps that's changed the whole history of it. Perhaps he's a fantastic painter and then he thought, I'll have a go carving, cut his ear off.
I'm thinking of that. I keep thinking of that song as well. West Virginia.
Yeah.
What's the words of that one?
Take me home.
Country roads, take me home to a place. That's the one, isn't it?
That's the one?
Yeah, of course.
You got it. John Denver.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm thinking... Here we go.
Be careful now, dear.
Yeah, I'll be careful. I won't think too hard. Yeah, have a look at that. That's what we're going for, sort of sunflowerish. But I had a visit from police once at 3 a.m. Helicopter noticed very bright lights from my back bedroom and got a knock on the door. They thought it was a cannabis. I was shooting an animation video. Brilliant. I hope you got them to subscribe to you.
Yeah. Do you think it needs a little bit deeper?
Well, no, I'm just looking at the shape. I haven't done the detail yet.
Okay, I've seen worse, Dave.
Yeah. I haven't done any detail. I got to cut some detail on there, yeah. Just asking about the shape. So we got carve it into that edge. Because you could add, like, if you're going to use that style for doing the sunflower, you can add extra petals in between, so you can fill all the gaps in. Depends what you're doing. Artistic license, no? That's what they refer to it as. Artistic license. You can hear in the background there's the, if you're wondering what's going on, if you can hear the circular saw in the background, that's my brother. He's cutting something out there, cutting some wood out, preparing something. Because if you're wondering how is the saw going, and both of us are in the workshop here, it's because Matt, my eldest brother, he's doing a bit there. Excuse the hands a second, we will move them out the way again as soon as possible, but we're just going around the outside. And then it's also a case of figuring out how we're going to finish off the centre. So we've gone all around the one way. We go back the other way as well.
It's a little reminder as well, you know, you did that thing, now you mentioned Ronald Reagan there, the, you know, it's a little reminder how time goes by so quickly then. You know, what year were we talking about?
1986.
1986, you know.
Which is now 86,
35 years ago. Yeah.
35 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, what's my computer telling me now? We found updates. Remind me in 4 hours. There we are. So we click postpone. So I'm hoping you're still with us. It's my computer deciding again. Stoner from Colorado wrote a song about West Virginia, but the majority of the references in the song were of Virginia. Ah. Good to know a bit about the background of it. Yeah, no, 35 years ago. It's amazing, isn't it? It absolutely flies by.
Yeah.
Flies by. So we're getting some depth around the outside. So the one who sang about West Virginia, one from West Virginia.
No.
That's hilarious. So again, you'll just have to excuse me. I've had to stand slightly in front of the light. That's why we're getting partially covered. But hopefully as well with the different lens, it's a little bit closer in. I tried to use my zoom lens, but it couldn't focus on anything. And I remember this because it's got a minimum focus of about 2 meters. So I'd have had to have stood the camera across the other side of the room for it to be able to focus on anything. So that plan didn't work out, but we got the macro lens in here on a manual zoom. So yeah, I'm going to just do a little bit of work on each petal. So I'm going to do the most difficult ones first, because these ones, as Dan was saying, is cross grain. So these are the most difficult. These bottom ones, and it'll be the same. The top ones will be difficult too. And then we'll have a little think, because with the sunflower, you have that piece right in the centre. I know the carver did an impressive one recently with the sunflower. Not sure if you put that one up on your social media, but that was a beauty that you got asked to do. And so there's that sort of dot right in the middle. So I'm thinking again, we'll just cut that out a little bit. And then one thing as you're standing next to the bench there, we're going to need a full stopper.
I think I put it wrong there, didn't I?
Oh, you got one?
Did I put it over there? I thought it did. Yeah, there's the full stopper. I thought I'd mislaid a chisel, but there it is. There it is.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I was watching that's the beauty of YouTube. There's so much information about all sorts of different things. And I thought I'll have a little look about West Virginia. And it was all about this town up in the mountains, a ghost town they refer to it as. And it was something like Furlock, and they had the railway going through there. And its claim to fame was the world's longest ever poker game. 14 years, apparently. So that was something that I saw about, but a beautiful area. Fantastic. The very rural, very unspoilt. Right, so we're well on with those petals. The reason now I'm dropping these petals back is because I want to shape that centre, because of course they almost create a little bit of a dome type effect. So I'll work it one way. Oh, I think my flower had a dot in the middle, but because I drew the pattern on the wood and used the compass to draw the circle, that's a good way of doing it. I did, and can you believe that I still have that sunflower and a purple heart rose? She keeps making this not to pick up. Oh, what? I feel like the longest poker game was the Cold War. You don't know. They may be playing another one at the moment. Goodness knows what's going on. Wow, I can't believe you still got that sunflower. Nice job as well. And the work that was involved, you mentioned the purple heart rose, and that was a beautiful, beautiful job, and a lot of work. That was one we were talking about and saying about how difficult it is in terms of pricing, because you say a price. I had one today where a military link one, and I've given a price for it, and all I'll say is Thomas Woodcarver was doing a lot of huffing and puffing. Because there's so many things when it comes to pricing that you've got to factor in. There's the postage, there's the work itself. It's basically the job I'm looking at, I'm in the process of designing and redesigning it. It's got two emblems on. And when they said, I want two emblems, we've done some of the different regiment ones before. You've done ones like the Lamb of God, Welsh Fusiliers, and I've seen ones like that, and I thought, no problem at all. And I think this one is the Royal Marines, and the equivalent in Holland. And there's a bit of detail, to say the least. So it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, let's put it that way. But there we are. We like a challenge. We're up for the challenge. We'll give it a go. And the difficulty with it, both of the emblems have got a little lion on them, and so I have to make the emblems a certain size, because the lions are only small parts of the emblem, but to get the detail on the lions, that means that you have to have the rest of the emblem big enough that you're going to have the detail on them. I don't know, hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, that's what is basically the most challenging part of that particular design. Have you got a little bit of sandpaper there at all?
I've got this one here, dear, with a little block if you want it. Is that any good to you?
I just possibly, have you got a grey piece? Sorry to be fussy.
A grey piece? Yeah, I won't get a piece of that.
Just a softer piece, because all I want to do at this stage, I just want to round off the centre. So you said it was on here as well, for Van Gogh. Was there another reason, did you say, for the sunflowers? Let's have a look. I'm a bit concerned using this one. I think it may be a bit too coarse. So same as always, sanding in the direction of the grain.
What was that about Van Gogh?
Was there another reason for the sunflowers, or was it just the Van Gogh?
No, I think that's the only...
That was the reason you had it on there.
Recorded on there.
Whilst Dad is sorting that one out for me.
Do you want the 180 or the 320?
Oh, I'm not too worried whichever one you... It was just the one you had there's a bit too coarse.
Okay.
That's great, thanks. So we just go over this.
Now everybody watching, now this is interesting of course, because I always use a block.
Yeah, but I can't shape it, see?
I know.
I can't shape it. So it's no
get
good.
away with it because it's a flower.
I can't, what it is, let me explain. If I use a block, well, there's the block, it's going to go across the top like that. So it's impossible for me. What I want to do is to round off, and apologies if I'm shaking the camera, but what I want to do is to round off that centre. And if I, you know, Dad is always more technically correct than I am in these things. And so if I go and put a block on there, it's just going to sand over the top. So it's not going to work. So that's why I'm not using, and probably what I will do is to go afterwards to go back over all of these petals. But you can see, that was when I was standing in that field in La Mancha, in the middle of Spain, in the middle of nowhere. That was where I saw the shape on those petals. And I thought, we'll use that as a technique. Now I'm just going to come around the outside of the centre. You'll have to excuse me again for blocking out the light. Thomas the Woodcarver's now moving the whole spoon.
Sorry about that.
Alright. Hopefully we're still on camera.
You should explain to everybody that I am working the other end.
Yeah, you are indeed. Absolutely. What are you working on there? Do you want to explain to everybody?
Well, last week you got as far, I think, we got as far as the...
We've jumped out a bit in the middle, haven't we?
Yeah, you got the space shuttle.
Right.
No, what was it?
No, I think I went through...
Apollo, it was Apollo and it was the American and the Russian.
Right.
They met in space, didn't they?
Oh, okie doke, yeah.
It was the 1975. I can't pronounce the Russian word.
My Russian's not too good, to be honest with you.
Cosmos, would it be?
Are they cosmonauts, wasn't it? Or what they used to call the astronauts?
Cosmonauts, I think, yeah.
Cosmonauts. Is that right?
So it was when they...
I'm looking for now. Ah, there it is. I got it. So what I'm going to do for doing the centre now, to make it a bit smaller, I'm going to use our mini gouge and just cut that out.
So the Apollo mission, you've got me there again now, so you're jumping back years.
There we go. Yeah, so just a simple little impression, simple idea of a sunflower. Let's have a little look. What have I missed? You have to keep in mind that your carving is going to have a carving, so you have to maintain an additional carving surface. Yeah, that's not confusing. Really like the shape of those petals. Skylab, cosmonaut, comrade, cosmonaut. Was it the Skylab or the International Space Station? There you go. It's in the right ballpark. It's in the right. That's sounds right. Skylab, I got a feeling, isn't it?
Soyuz.
What is it?
Apollo and Soyuz was the first manned international space mission carried out jointly by the United States and the Soviet Union, July 1975. It says millions of people around the world watched on television as a United States Apollo module docked with a Soviet Union Soyuz capsule.
Right.
You know, you think about it, that's 1975, so 45 years ago. You know, and it's sort of worth remembering, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's incredible.
Now this is a symbol that I have never carved before, and an interesting one to do. I'm doing a dollar sign. I've never done one of those before. So I'm thinking your dollar sign there, what is it? It's like an S with a line through. Is that right? Well,
It's like another 3, isn't it? Like 3 backwards? When I write it down here.
Have I drawn it wrong? Please tell me if I have. We're going to need a straighter line then.
Where's the little paper, Dave, that
I don't know. I've got little bits of paper lying all over the place here.
Yeah. I want to get that right now because it'll mean. Is that one on the floor there? See it there?
Hang on. We're
I
searching.
can see the sunflower over there. I can see it.
Oh, you better go and find that one because
Yeah, let's get the dollar something right.
I might have to do recarving here.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
Is it like an S?
It's like an S.
There we are. That's what I.
There it is. If you want to show everybody the drawing.
Well, they're in America. They know what a dollar looks like. It's us who doesn't know what a dollar looks like.
Yeah, but I just wanted to show the drawing
Hey?
to see how we apply the drawing to the.
Oh, I'm with you.
How we get there.
I thought you were saying you need to show everyone what a dollar looks like. There you go.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm holding it in front of the camera. There. So yeah, what we've done, see? So that's how we transfer it across using the carbon paper. There we go. So we've done our dollar sign just like so. First time for everything. I'm imagining you've probably done one like that before, have you?
Yeah, they're telling us here. All recent. I would have been 2 months old. Carmel, there wasn't a twinkle in my dad's eye yet. And Aubrey says the dollar is an S with a line or 2 vertical.
Yeah, why is it sometimes 1, sometimes 2 then? Is there supposed to be 2 lines in it, or?
Yeah, he says sometimes you see 2 vertical lines instead
Yeah.
of 1.
Right.
No idea why.
Ah,
So why the S then?
I don't know. It's like the pound sign. Where do they get the pound sign from? Where's that come from?
Well, the pound is like an L, isn't it?
Well, the pound is like it's like an old-fashioned L with a line through it. Yeah. Like what would you call it? Like a palace script L? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Got us thinking now. This is what happens, see? You start thinking of what's the origin of some of these symbols. Because, like, is it the yen that's like a Y with some lines through it and that sort of thing? Now, the other thing as well that's different for myself that you may or may not have noticed, everything that I've done on here, this is a big difference for me. I'm standing to carve for all of the stuff that I'm doing here. So
How is it on your back?
it's quite different for me.
Yeah.
I mean, where it's difficult now is I can feel I'm having to
Stretching over,
lean.
isn't it?
Well, I'm leaning to the one side. So as I'm carving this out, I'm starting to feel it. This is where years ago I used to do athletics and I used to have problems with pulling my hamstring because I'd be doing things like this.
Yeah, that's a possible.
And then you go and run.
It could be Latin.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
LBS would have been the pound in weight, wouldn't it?
LBS, don't they sell skips locally?
Yeah, they do.
LBS. Just to advertise that they got builder skips. Want to build a skip in Pembrokeshire, that's the company that sell them. Or rent them. Sounds like I'm doing an advert now for LBS skips. Right, so that's coming along. And then one that I'd be very surprised that I've noticed that you've got on here. Hey look, you're trying to throw me out, aren't you?
Why?
Well, here we are. Thomas the Woodcarver's lined this all up. He's got 1981, 1982, 1983, 1984, 85, 1986. You seeing the pattern? 1989, 1988, 1989. What's wrong with 1987?
What have I done now then?
What you've done, you put 1989 on it twice. So this one here, see this, you've got the sunflower, I reckon that's 1987, or I'm hoping it's 1987, or we got a problem. You put 1989 on it. Here we go, this is the making of our longest love spoons, and this is where we go into a moment of crisis and panic. So if that is... You need to check now that was 1987 because you've got 1989, 1988, 1989. I better go on to 1988 if just in case.
Oh, stop everything.
Stop everything. Stop the press. Let's go on to 1988.
What
Things
have you
are
got?
happening. The dollar symbol, one of the comments being derives from the figure 8, representing the Spanish piece of 8. However, it actually comes from that handwritten PS, an abbreviation for. So there's a little bit of history behind it, as there usually is with these different symbols.
So looks if you're gonna have to.
Eh?
We have to carve something out of there.
Well, no, I reckon that you've put 1989 on there, and it's probably 1987.
So.
Or I hope it is.
What was it about the sunflower painting?
The sunflower.
Okay.
Just double check that we're doing a check on this one. It's an inconclusive one. We're just hoping now that it was definitely 1987, and that it's just been a mistake with the year that we put on it. Right. Let's have a little look here. We get that one into focus.
Sunflower painting sale, 1987.
Thank goodness for that. Right, so Thomas Woodcarver's written the wrong year on there, but we can continue. So I'm going to rub that out. Let's get my sandpaper, rub that out. And let's get the pencil, and we put a 7. As long as we know that's just, there we are. As you can see, I can carve it better than I can write it. Okay, this one here, Red Nose Day. That's probably one. Oh, look at the big brains on this group. Peso de ocho reales. So that's the weight of 8. The real weight of 8. Here's an ingredient for peso, an old Spanish-American books. Oh, peso as well, of course. And that's interesting because peso in Spanish is weight. Unless I'm getting, unless it's got another, you'd have to explain if it means something different in that context. This one here then, Red Nose Day, that's one that for yourselves in different places around the world may not even know about Red Nose Day. I don't know if that was, I don't think that was an international thing, was it?
I don't think so.
No. I think that's a British thing, but again, it's like a charity, type thing, where they raised money for all sorts of different causes. So Red Nose Day, was that when it was founded?
It was the first.
It was the first one in 1988.
The first year. You can explain to people what, or you can explain what they do.
They wear a red nose. It was a charity that was very much founded by comedians, no?
Yeah.
Lenny Henry would have been the one that I would have associated it with quite strongly. Any others you would have associated it with quite a lot? No, Lenny Henry was one, and they basically did all sorts of, what it was, the idea, you did all sorts of sort of crazy things, and it raised money for charity. So why did you pick up on that one in particular then? For 1988.
Because I couldn't find anything else as easy.
Right.
Well, it is quite a big. It is quite a big thing, really. I mean, there's a lot of sort of show business charities.
Yeah.
Like that, and that was the first sort of putting it out to the public. Then, you know.
Yeah. I'm sure in all around the world, you've got different versions of similar sort of things. It was massive at the time, though, wasn't it? I can remember you'd see it on the telly where you'd have people doing all sorts of things that were a little bit sort of different, and it was all for raising money for different charities. Ourselves, the only one, I've just moved that spoon a little bit there, so I'll just
Do you
move
want
it
to try
back.
and fix it?
No, it should be okay.
You're okay, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. The only one that we've ever sort of been involved with consistently is cancer research, isn't it? That's the one that we support here.
Yeah, it's very difficult because, you know, we get lots of requests.
Yeah, we support all sorts of different things. We get asked for lots of different things, for charity, auctions, that sort of thing. So we usually do support, to be honest with you. What tends to happen though is that you support them and then you go a couple of months and you'll have the same people asking again and again and again, and so we tend to support charities as much as we can.
It at least limits it.
Yeah, so that's our main one here is cancer research, because that's a charity, of course, that, you know, it has a big effect across the world, so that's why we choose to support it. But this one here then, it's, one of the things then, you could buy a red nose, and so they would sell red noses and you'd wear a red nose. People would go to work wearing a red nose, that sort of thing. It's just a bit of fun, a bit of nonsense. Now the one that we're going to go on to, basically what I'm going to do here, we've got those stop cut, we've got the stop cut shape on there, and I'm going to go right where I'm. In the spirit of Secret Policeman Ball fundraiser for Amnesty. See, we have it here. There we are. They do it through. In Canada, the Cancer Awareness Month is March. They use daffodil. Oh, daffodil. Yeah, daffodil is a symbol. People often think that's why I'm wearing a real daffodil on March. Yeah, of course. I know the Red Nose Day, but because I spent so much time in the UK and watching UK TV. Brilliant. Yeah, it's the daffodil has been used for all sorts of different things. Yeah, and it's become a popular symbol, and they started using it. Is this something like here as well? The Macmillan nurses, do they use the daffodil? Yeah. I got a feeling, so it is used here for a few different things. Hopefully that's got a little bit more light on what we're doing there. So the problem is though is I've got to go and carve in front of the light. Now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start off with this one. I think I'm moving it a bit too much now.
Well, I can get some more clamps and clamp it to the bench if you want me to.
Don't worry too much. I'll just make sure we're in focus and we're on. Yeah, we're still in shot. We're still in shot. You can see as well. Look at that. I'm just stopping to admire not the carving, but this time of year. I enjoy when you see the filming, when you see the video. I like the footage because you start to get real shadows, nice contrast between where you're carving in the light and the darkness.
Yeah. I mean, over here today, it's been a really gloomy day.
It's a proper gloomy day, but gives you nice contrast then in your video. Right, I can see my hands are going in front of the screen there, so I've moved out the way, and we come back the other side. Yeah, you get that nice contrast. It's a bit of a gloomy day, so a bit of a gloomy backdrop. And so you get in those different, the light and shade. Always remember years ago when we photographed originally the big spoon, and again my favourite photos of it are the ones where you had some really nice contrast. Light, the key with a lot of things. So you can see we're just getting that shape. So what I will do from there, we'll come back around. I'll cut out some of these little loose bits that are left over, just to tidy it up. And then to get that effect, I want to create like a dome. So I'll dome it back the other way. I'll show you very briefly. Let's have a look. So this will all be shaped in and around and sort of domed off. I'll rewrite the word in and I'll sand it all down as well. With the red nose as well, they started coming up with all different designs, didn't they? They started with a simple, like a clown nose, and then over the years they started doing with little arms on it. Used to see a lot of people would have them on the car, wouldn't they? Put them on the bumper of the car.
That's right.
So when you were driving round, you'd see the red noses on the bumper of the car. So you can see, we're just going to curve that back the other way. Have I missed anything? Beautiful day in Toronto, 70 degrees sunny, unseasonably warm. Yeah, it's been warmer. It's mild. It's for the time of year when you consider now we should be well into winter. It's still quite mild out, but it's a bit of a gloomy outlook. So you can see we're just shaping that all round. I've slipped a little bit, so I'll have to go back around. I don't like leaving a little bit like that because I always think I could forget about it later. So I'll just take that out. And then I'll sand it again. Just like so. Right, so where did I slip? I just slipped in there as well. And that's the thing as well, you know, we get asked about different techniques and things like that, you know, what happens if it goes wrong. When you're making those little slips, you know, you can see that as being a mistake, getting it wrong and things, but all you do, just go back over it, sort it out. Now I'm curving this and shaping it, so again, that is why I'm not using the sanding block. Sanding in the direction of the grain. But as Dad would say, that, you know, that's not the correct way. Not the correct way to do it. Love sanding as well with this finer grade sandpaper. It's a P180. Gives you a really nice finish and shapes it nicely as well. Right, the last one that I'm going to look at, and then we'll also have I'll just go across there with the camera and the light and show you what Thomas Woodcarver is doing in the distance. Okay.
You can show them what Thomas the Woodcarver has been carving with very poor lighting.
That's the lighting you normally carve with. I offered him last week, do you want me to leave the light on? And he said no. Okay, so I don't know if you can just about make out what it says on there. There we are. It's upside down, so makes it a bit more tricky to read. Have you seen anything? I remember seeing one. That car's out. Yeah, that's the red noses, spot on. Okay, so you've got WWW and then Berlin,
Yeah.
1989.
Yeah.
So, do you want to give an explanation? That's the last one I'm going to have a quick little look at. Yeah.
See if anybody knows what we're recording for.
And I'm just
1989, is it?
I think what I'm going to do for this carving, I need
to.
I got no gouges for.
Which one's you on, Dave?
What's the WWW, or is that giving away the story if we say?
Yeah, well, they're two separate things.
You got it. Aubrey's got it. The wall.
The Berlin Wall.
Can I have some gouges?
Which one's you on, Dave?
If I start off with all of them, and
Well, they're all there for you, though.
yeah, there's nothing I need to do. The engraving is ones you got down there. So I'll start off by doing the 1989 on here. Yeah, of course it was the Berlin Wall. We never recorded it in 1989. So it didn't make it onto our design for that year because.
What about the WWW?
Yeah, that's got me thinking. WWW.
Let's see if somebody gets it before you.
No, I know. Well, it's got to be something with the World Wide Web,
It is the World Wide Web.
right?
Yeah.
Well, that was 1969 that the idea with that was. 1969.
Another check.
Thomas the Woodcarver's gone very quiet again. The idea of, I mean, it was quite an old idea again, but I know that this comes about when I had to do a video for one of my friends, one of my wife's friends. I did a spoon for celebrating his 50th birthday, and he was born in 1969, so I had to find out all different things that happened that year. And one of the things was the sort of founding of what became later on the internet. But I suppose what you got with the internet, it's probably recorded on different years because it was in different stages of its foundation and development. Isn't there a link as well with the internet, with the World Wide Web? Yeah.
Tim Berners-Lee,
Yeah.
a British scientist, invented the World Wide Web in 1989
Right?
while working at CERN, spelled C-E-R-N.
Yeah.
The web was originally conceived and developed to meet the demand for automated information sharing between scientists in universities and institutes around the world. So,
Well, I know when I did the research for that video, there was something in 1969 in terms of the origins of the
so we go
of the
Wikipedia.
internet. Let's have a little look.
It's not
Great.
called-
We got top of the plots allotment. Oh, let's have a look. Hiya from South Wales. Hello there. Hello from West Wales. We're just down the road. The public, perhaps, yeah, it was the public version of the internet. That might explain it. I would have been dialing. Yeah. Just getting into wood carving after many years. Brilliant. Oh, you definitely got to have a go with the Lovespoons then, especially being in South Wales. Great drama series on Netflix called Catch Fire, about the progression of technology towards today from the 80s. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, if you're in South Wales, you definitely the Lovespoon's a good one to have a go at getting involved with. Good fun.
So, we don't have to put www on there.
No. I think it's relevant. If it's always worth getting in there. But I know that there is. When I looked at, I don't know whether it may be. This is one of those areas where you have sort of different. You have different stages of it, don't you?
Yeah.
Perhaps that's when they were sort of bringing it together. 1969, the one I was working on then.
1991, 95, the web goes public.
Right, so perhaps they started using it. See, it would make sense. I mean, you know what it's like with these ideas. It would make sense that they had the idea earlier on, and then it sort of develops from there. Because a lot of these different ideas, they have their origins back, like in things like the First and Second World War, quite often. So you can see we're just building up those shapes, getting that, using those stop cuts as a barrier.
It says inception.
Right.
12th of March, 1989.
Right.
32 years ago.
Okay.
So is that right? 32 years ago? Yeah. That's the inception of it, you see?
Yeah.
So I think it's...
I think what it was, back in 1969, I got a feeling there was something in terms of like the universities and looking at it.
The
And
web's former logo, designed by Belgian Robert Kalia.
Right.
Yeah, but we it's looking like
There's a
World Wide Web.
gouge. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking for a gouge.
Which one are you looking for, Dave?
On
On that one?
that one. So it's going on there, okay?
I think so, because it's still,
It's not a gouge I need.
you know,
Typical.
I mean, it's coming at the end of the 89, of the 80s.
Well, I think for most of us, the internet, the World Wide Web, I think for most of us was sort of coming into its own during the 90s, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
to have it there, you know, as a thing then at the end of the 80s, I think that's about
it's
the...
in waiting, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's
I
sort
think
of,
so. I think before it was, I mean, for ourselves, it was very much the mid-90s. Apologies for my hand being in front of the
we're talking
camera.
across the world now at the moment, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know, so it's
So
a relevant.
well, with the nature of what we're doing on this spoon and how we're recording all sorts of different things, I think that is something that we can't not record and in some way. So if it fits in with 1989, great. We'll have it on 1989. There we are. So
I've got a really lovely logo which you haven't shown yet, Dave, and I think it's a super one.
okay, we'll come across it now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do, because this one here.
No, you carry on. You crack on. Don't crack on, but
well-
you know, carry on.
Well, no, when you said crack on, this is the thing, because you've got the wall, but you've just got like a slab for your wall. So I'm sort of thinking I want a bit more of like a jagged edge to it.
Yeah, but what happened? They hit parts down,
Yeah,
and so they made holes in it,
yeah,
and then there was a lot of graffiti
Yeah.
on it.
yeah.
And I just happened to pick up one of the.
Can I come down this just down the
You can do whatever
sides?
you want to with the wall.
See, all I want to do is to just come down the sides, just make it a bit more jaggedy.
Yeah, you can do anything you
'Cause
want.
even if-
In fact, you can do on the top, there was like a curve, you can do barbed wire, you
Yeah.
can do anything.
Yeah, I just want to make it a bit less.
Yeah.
Because it like they cut it out in chunks.
Yeah. What it was, when I saw one of the pictures from the internet,
Yeah.
it had the word Berlin,
Yeah,
and another one had the date, 1989.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I copied then. And
Those
also, you know, the wall had in a part, it had like almost like a curb, a curbstone on the top then,
yeah.
you know?
Where's my, my favourite gouge?
Not this one.
No. Oh, look at that. I put it down there. Have I missed anything? It was known as the... Oh. Right. So, here we go. I think everyone's explaining to us now. Here we go. This is where everyone, again, educates us and informs us. This is where we learn about the world. Right, go to... Except modems, we had started... Right. Except modems, we have started in the 1960s. So until 1989, it would have been largely been dialing into servers directly, not the web servers. 1969 was when an internet for university was created. Right, that's the one that I knew. It was known as ARPANET. There we are. That's the one. 1969 internet. Yes. www. No. Right. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting mixed up. What I remember beyond seeing them smashing the wall with the sledgehammers, seeing footage of larders, etc., driving across the border.
Yeah.
It was dramatic stuff indeed. Yeah. One I always remember is remember David Hasselhoff. Remember David Hasselhoff?
Yeah.
Well, he was a massive star in I think it was I don't know whether it was just in East Germany or where it was, but he was a huge because he didn't he do music as well, because I know he did Baywatch and Knight Rider,
Right.
but I'm sure he was a massive star out there. Don't ask me what the history is with that, but I do just remember something along those lines. That his music was very successful.
It's just carving and recording, you know, little things like that. You know, Mum and I, through the years, you know, we've listened and watched the news, we've heard about things, and then you are carving it on your Lovespoon. It's you know, it's just a lovely way to record it, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, what it's starting to do as well. So for this one.
You know, and it's not too serious.
No,
You know,
bit of fun.
It's just light-hearted and.
So what I'm going to do, I want a straight top and bottom. Straight top and bottom to this one here, just two slabs. Two straight lines that I'm going to put on there. And then the sides, I just sort of envisaging, there we are, it's just the way you see things. So I come back across that way. Now that one you have done like a bit of a jaggedy line. So I tell you what I will do. I've gone for a straighter top on it. The bottom I'll half follow your line. So something like that. Something like that. There we are. And then afterwards, see, we'll come back in there. I'll have to be careful with how far I go at the top because we got the www on there.
The other reason for me doing it as well is because we've made a spoon for every year since 1969.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain years that we've put, you know, we would have liked to have put the Berlin Wall into it, but for some reason we chose something else then. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I think as well, what we did, we recorded it in a different way because you recorded the disbanding of the Soviet Union. So you're just recording it in a slightly different way.
Yeah, but that was 1991.
Right. So what did you do in 1989?
It's
you got me
confused.
confused.
This one. It's much more of a...
Knight Rider, singer, sex symbol, etc., etc. That's the one. And I'm talking about 1,000 Points of Light, which Saturday Night Live made fun of all the time. Baywatch. The Hoff was singing on the Berlin Wall as they were taking it down. Perhaps that's why they're taking it down. There we are. Yeah, I just know. Didn't he had. I know now. He had links with Wales. I don't know if it was his girlfriend or partner or whatever. There was links.
You already mentioned Knight Rider then?
Knight Rider.
Knight Rider.
Well, that was David Hasselhoff.
Wasn't it?
Right, yeah, finish off then. Do you want to show anything? You can see how we're making progress there. I'm going to flick across. I'm going to flick across to autofocus. We'll test out the...
Yeah, I just point out something a minute, Dave, because what happened last time we did this,
Yeah.
we shellacked that,
Yeah.
right? It was the other end and we shellacked it, of course.
Yeah.
And that made it more difficult for me then to get the pencil marks out.
Well, that's why when you said to me to do it last week, I thought it would...
So I'm not going to shellac this one.
So, yeah, that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been working on today. So you can see just a few...
It's a bit more work to do on the rows.
Yeah, I couldn't get in those angles. There's plenty of work on all of it. But you can see we're just working along our way. So we're well on that panel. There's the other half as we go past, as we're going past Africa.
That's a much more local thing, that one there.
Right, so we got different ones. There's a gouge just coming into shot.
Yeah.
Right, and now Thomas the Woodcarver, you've been working down this end here.
Yeah, but I doubt if the camera will be able to pick it up because the light is so poor.
Right, so that's him complaining. The problem I've got is that the camera is attached to the tripod here. I'll try and... so you can see...
Can you pick it up there, Dave?
Possibly if we pick these...
Okay.
Gouges. So basically Dad is working down in there. He's doing some carving on those.
We did a bit of carving here. We got Benjamin.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was born in 1977, so that was my second son.
Yeah.
And then we got a tennis racket.
Yeah.
All right.
Try and get that back on the tripod. I think it'll be all right. Yeah, that's fine.
Can you see the tennis racket?
Tennis racket. What year was that?
1977.
Virginia Wade.
Virginia Wade, the last British person to...
Before Andy Murray.
That's right.
Yeah, because it's we used that one. Andy Murray being the first British male winner of Wimbledon in 77 years since Fred Perry. But at different times, yeah, we do get people who say, of course, there's Virginia Wade, who won it in 1977.
And then quite interesting here, we've got, it's not picking up very well at the moment, but it's Louise Joy Brown.
Louise Brown?
Yeah, Louise Joy Brown.
No.
1978.
Any thoughts?
The first, I won't tell everybody.
No, I think you share that one. And Aubrey's just asked, is it a chain? I think it's the first time. I think you missed us last week, Aubrey. So it's the first time you've seen it. Yeah, I will show you.
I'll move the chiselled off, alright? I'll put the chisels over there.
Basically, what it is, back in 2007. Right, let's give you a tour of these things. Back in 2007, you have to excuse the mess because I've been filming. So. That one up there, that's the longest hand carved Lovespoon in the world. So we did that one back in 2007. That one there, and then that comes all the way down. Oops, sorry again, that's my tripod. That was a bit of a wobbler. Yeah, so you can see in the background a bit of a gloomy day. But that comes down to there. That was the longest hand carved Lovespoon in the world, done in 2007. So you can see that all the way across there. So you've got all of those individual carvings on there. And then you fast forward, lockdown, we were doing all sorts of different things. And so we had the brainwave, right, we will do another long spoon. So it's in a similar vein. So you've got all of these links along the top. And then we're doing
on that one, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 links on that one.
Yeah.
And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
yeah.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. There's 20 links.
Yeah.
On this
so
one.
This one, basically, it's a similar sort of idea, all linked together, all the different parts of the carving. Bit of a crazy project. And we're making progress on it because we're sort of quieter in the workshop this time of year, that sort of thing. And we generally, as Dan said, we do a spoon every year. That's what we're working on.
And it's oak, so it's going to be golden oak, of course.
Yes. And it's not about it's their wedding anniversary, their golden wedding anniversary this year. This was all telling a bit of a story. And did we have no answers on Louise?
No. Louise Joy Brown, the first test tube baby.
Ah, right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which again, we've recorded something along those lines.
And it's obviously significant because we got the little drawing there.
Right.
Mother Teresa.
Right.
So she
1979.
received 1979. She received the Nobel Peace Prize. You know, I know it's a strange one to put alongside, really.
I got put that one to everyone very, very quickly as well. Coming across to 1980, a video game. Any thoughts?
Oh, I can take this clamp off, Dave, if you want me to.
Take that one off and I'll refocus the camera. 1980, a video
Pull it back
game.
a touch.
You want to check the computer there for me, Did, before I put the camera on it?
Oh, got it. There we are.
There was a video game 1980. Is anyone going to get it in time? Here we are. I'll focus it onto it.
It's difficult to see the pencil line.
It was Pac-Man.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's coming in, is it there now?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's coming in there.
And then 81.
That's a British one, the next one.
Right.
Save Your Kisses for Me.
Right, that would have been Bucks Fizz.
That's right, winning the Eurovision Song Contest.
That's probably the last time that we won it.
I don't think so.
You sure?
No, I think there was a later one.
Oh, there we are.
I'm not sure.
I don't think we've scored a point.
But there's also that year.
Since-
There's a C and a D. Charles and Diana were married, and then we got 1982. Oh, look at this! Dave was born, and we got a crown because Prince William was born the same year.
So you're not put in 1980, Michaela.
Yeah, she's on the bottom.
Oh,
there,
she's on
actually.
there. That's okay.
Yeah,
I was just wondering for a second.
yeah, she's on the bottom there.
Yeah.
And then you come up to
83.
83. We got a pound sign.
Yeah.
With a pound coin, because new pound coins were introduced, and the old pounds went out.
84. Sorry. 84. Yeah.
84 then.
A namesake, a Cooper.
Yeah.
Which is your
my grandmother's
Cooper.
married name, and then we got, just like that, Tommy Cooper with a fez, because he passed away that year, 1984, and of course he was born in Caerphilly.
Yeah, and if any of you, if you've never seen Tommy Cooper, go on YouTube and have a look at some of this stuff. It absolutely was hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely unique.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Sadly died on stage
Yeah.
because he was always messing about. They thought it was part of the performance.
Yeah.
Because he was a bit of a character, to say the least.
Yeah, and Mum and I did actually see him.
Yeah.
Live as well in
And
Bournemouth.
there we are. And
That's it's all.
so there we are.
That's how you make up a love spoon.
Yeah,
It's,
so that's how it's come along. That's the idea. Is hopefully that will progress. I'm going to turn this light off now and turn it back on again because just wanted to see how it comes up in terms of the contrast, the colours there. But it's progressing. It's coming along. Hopefully that's interesting. Hopefully some of those ideas and some of the things that we're recording on there.
Well, we're going to go from 1990 now.
Talking point. Yeah, and we'll go on from there, and we keep doing the different carvings on there. Eventually, we hope to have a finished Lovespoon. Thank you all, as always, for joining us. Really appreciate that. It's great to have you joining us and talking about the different things and sharing what we do. All going well. We will be back next Monday. We got Wednesday. We've got our video uploads as normal. Friday, all going well. We're doing shorts on a Friday, so we're not wearing shorts. We're doing YouTube shorts. So yeah, keep an eye out for those. Something different. Hope you all have a good week, and we will see you all
the best to
again
everyone.
next week. Thank you all again.
Take care.